The biggest mistake I made in my business was not hiring a professional to help me with my money. Not just my taxes, but the actual plan I had for my business. I was completely lost on how to handle taxes, what to do with profit, and how to maintain my income. I had to find a better way. That's when I found Core Financial. Core Financial is a team of tax professionals that actually care about building real relationships with their clients. They run my books, keep me up to date with my finances, and make sure I'm taking full advantage of all of my tax benefits. Are you struggling with your finances? Look no further. Core Financial is a brand that is nationwide that can help you with your business. Both Nick and I are huge fans of Core, and they can help you too. Check out howtofilmweddings.com/core to schedule a consultation today. Core Financial. Real relationships, no surprises. It seems like there are new cameras and equipment coming out all the time. It gets incredibly confusing and the FOMO is real. Nick and I have been preaching for years that the best way to try out new gear is to rent before you buy. And there is only one place we recommend when it comes to renting, and that is our friends over at Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals is the premier source for renting not only camera equipment, but lenses, drones, projectors, and more. Have a big project coming up and you need to really wow your couple? Wanting to test out the newest camera before you drop thousands on it? You need Lens Rentals. My favorite thing is that if I love something I rent, I can keep it. They apply a portion of the rental fee to the purchase price, and with a few simple clicks, that gear is mine. Check out the latest promo codes and promotions at howtofilmweddings.com/lensrentals. Lens Rentals, the only place we recommend renting. Hello and welcome to How to Film Weddings. It's a new week. It's time to get inspired. But first, Nicholas Scott Miller, here you are today in your Wichita hat, in a black t-shirt, just like we like to wear, in your killer beard. How are you? What's new?
I am doing really, really well. Excited to be back in and recording and having another guest. Emma Burke joins us. She is young and kicking butt and taking names in her business. She is killing it on social media with Instagram and Reels. She just had a viral video, but she spent a little bit of time talking about being in school, being younger, running her business, social media. John, I just started going in talking about this. How are you doing? I should ask you, how are you?
I am great. My kids are both in school. They went back.
Tomorrow for me. Tomorrow for me.
You asked me. Okay. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So
sorry.
Here's the thing though. I used to have an office until about a year ago. We moved into this house. I love this house. I love this studio, but about 30 feet that way is a door that leads to my living room where my family resides. And through the summertime, I became known as the coloring page printer. Every 15 minutes, my little 4-year-old Daisy, Dad, can I have a coloring sheet? Daddy, can you print me a butterfly? And that's great. And I love spending time with my family. But for the first time ever, I've just been excited that they're going to go away during the day and come back. And my 5th grader is gone all 5 days. My 4-year-old is gone 3 days. So anyway, this is the most time I've ever had at this house. I'm really excited. So I'm in a really good mood. And then I'm just really motivated by what Emma was talking about today. Like what you said.
She's very, very passionate about how she's running her business, what she's doing, and how she does social media. And I think that you will just be inspired, if nothing else, to just hey, I'm just going to jump in and start doing it and start working on my social media presence. So John, let's go ahead and just jump into this podcast with Emma K Films.
Let's do it. All right, well, Emma Burke is here. Emma, why don't you say hello to How to Film Weddings? Introduce yourself. Where are you from? Who are you? Give us all the details.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma. I am the owner of Emma K Films. I am based in Oregon, but I love to travel all over the place. And I am a wedding and elopement videographer. And let's see. Love the Pacific Northwest. I love to travel. And I'm seriously so grateful to be on here today and just chat with you guys.
Yeah, and we are excited to have you here. You help us with some administrative stuff for our mastermind group. You've been around a little bit. We've been kind of watching you grow your business. Why don't you tell us a little bit of the story of when you started and a little bit just to give us the story of how your business got going, kind of what you were charging, just how you got into this crazy world of what we do.
Yes, I love it. All right, so I don't have an exciting story like most people do. I was a pharmacy major at Oregon State University, and I, for a lot of personal reasons, ended up changing my major over to accounting in the business realm. And I had more free time on my hands, and I'm an impulse shopper. And so I literally one night was like, I need to spend money. I need to go do something. I need to build. I'm a busybody. I needed to fill up my time. I literally drove to Best Buy and said, I'm going to get into video. And there was no backstory. There was no history there. I literally just drove to Best Buy. I bought this Sony A6500 and I was like, we're going to do this. And after that day, I just dove right in. I started going through mentorships. I started going to style shoots. I went to a workshop here in the Pacific Northwest. I literally did everything that I could, and I just fell in love with it. But it's kind of funny because it was one of those things where it's like I didn't grow up necessarily like knowing that was what I wanted to do, and definitely didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur, be my own boss. But that whole experience and like finding out where I'm passionate and what means the most to me, I needed a career where I really felt like I was making a difference and building relationships with people. And so, getting a camera in my hand and being able to literally do that exact thing where, you go to weddings as a living and you build those relationships with people is what it's all about. So I literally dove right in. My first wedding, I charged $400 for. It was a family friend. We started right at the bottom there and started heading up. Now I charge, now my weddings are $5,000. And I started January 2019. Not 2019, sorry. I just lied on this podcast. My bad. No, wait.
Liar.
Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. No, I did start January of 2019. Goodness. And
Not a liar.
Not a liar. Scratch all of that. I started in January of 2019, and I went full-time May of 2020. And I just graduated from Oregon State University this past June 2021, and we're doing this full-time, and it's seriously been like the best decision that I've ever made.
Wow. So you were in school, you were one major, you're like, I'm going to switch it and do something else. And then while you switched to accounting and started doing something else, then you kind of switched that to do something else. How was that process, while you're, in school and running a business, trying to grow your business while also trying to stay up in school and all? How was that experience for you?
It definitely was a lot. I think the hardest part about it is it's really all mental. I think like a lot of us being an entrepreneur, running a small business, running any business, like a lot of it is just a mental game. Like I can learn how to shoot a camera. I can learn how to talk to people, but can I mentally day by day push myself and be motivated, be dedicated to this career? And I think like a lot of it is the mental. And so I definitely struggled with change. I am really really hard when it comes to change. Going from one day becoming a pharmacist to now being an entrepreneur, that's a scary thing for a lot of people. And I think a lot of it was really just fighting myself. What are people going to think? Why am I still getting a degree? I graduated with that accounting degree because at the end of the day, I thought, what better degree to get to run your business than an accounting degree? But a lot of it was I was stuck in these ways of, okay, if I'm going to go get an accounting degree, then I'm going to become an accountant. I'm going to go, I could do this as a side hobby. And even when it became a full business of thinking, can I do this long term? Can I do this forever? And so a lot of it was just that mental battle, that mental fight with myself of, you can do this full time. You can do this as your end career. And I think that was a lot of the big things was just letting go as well of what other people are going to think, especially when you're going to college. A lot of people think, oh, what's your major? What are you going to do with it? Why would you get a major if you're not going to follow through with a career in that field? And so a lot of it was just letting go of, you know what, a lot of people are never going to understand, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I get to pursue a career that I absolutely enjoy and love and, have this as a backup. Time management also was very difficult. School is a full-time job, and when you go to college, you're paying to go learn. And so I think those were some big roadblocks of just figuring out how can I manage my time best? How can I study for my midterms, homework every day, but then go shoot and film, on the weekends? And how can I give my clients this best experience while I am still in that school process? And so it was tough. Like by all means, like I was up late at night. I would get up early in the morning and edit. The time management was hard. But at the end of the day, like I just kept telling myself, this is all a mental game. I can physically make this work if my mind's in the right place. And I think that was like one of the biggest pieces.
Yeah, and you haven't mentioned it, but when you started your business, if you don't mind sharing, how old were you when you got going?
I actually was, January 2019, I was 18 years old. So I was 18 when I got started, and I am 21 now.
Right. And when we were talking to you first, like I was just watching you, like I'm always like just checking Instagram, seeing what people are doing. And, certain people just kind of stand out, I guess. The ones that you can just tell are grateful for where they're at. They have a relentless mindset. They have grit, and they're just putting stuff out there and doing stuff and failing fast and learning from their failures, not being afraid if their footage doesn't look as good as whatever other filmmaker, but you're just being you and failing fast, learning fast, growing fast. So what role, like being younger, if there's someone out there that's listening that's a little bit younger, what advice would you have for them on like just getting going in business with what you've learned?
That's such a loaded question, but I love it.
I love loaded questions.
No, I absolutely love being an advocate for young entrepreneurs because I was one. And I feel like I can relate to a lot of people who were in my position, being 19 years old, going to college, pursuing a career that didn't necessarily, if you're pursuing a career as a pharmacist or a career as an accounting major, your end goal is not really to become an entrepreneur, right? And so I really feel like I can relate a lot because I have literally been there and I felt those kind of things about what is my family going to think, what are my friends going to think, what am I going to do? And the best advice I could give is just understanding the mental game. And I say that so much, but I feel like it's so often overlooked that we think we get so hung up on these little things, and you're really just fighting a battle with yourself. And at the end of the day, if you know if you're here and you are dedicated and you're going to do whatever you can, if you have that mindset, not everything's going to be perfect. You're going to fail a lot. And I did. Literally, I failed so many times, but I had the mindset of we're going to make this work. We're going to make this a full-time career. I'm going to do this day in and day out. So whatever I have to do, don't give up after your first try. As you start to increase your prices, I feel like that's a big one. People start to increase their prices, they could possibly start to get less bookings, right? But it's all like, or less inquiries, more bookings. Either way, don't give up. And that's so cliche, but know that this is all you. And a lot of it as well, another piece of advice would be think selfishly. Do not think about what are my family and my friends going to think. A lot of it, again, I go back and back and back, is that mental game of I was so worried about what everybody else would think because, we're not really taught entrepreneurship in elementary or high school, even college. I took one entrepreneurship class throughout my entire business major. You're not really taught that that's the way to go or a huge option. And so I think knowing that you are going to be that source of education for other people and you are going to be the inspiration. At the end of the day, I took in the reality that probably a lot of my family and friends are never going to understand what kind of career this is. I'm probably for the rest of my life going to get, every once in a while I get a joke, I get a comment about what's next? What am I going to go do? So really just understanding that, think selfishly. This is your career. At the end of the day, if it's sustainable, if you're loving what you're doing, then you need to continue to pursue that and know that not everybody's going to understand. So I think a lot of it is, again, the mental game and just understanding that you need to do what's best for you and not giving up. Because again, it's all that if you're dedicated, if you can get up every day and think, all right, how can I make this work? You're going to fail, then pivot and find a different avenue that works for you. And that's exactly what I did. And I love it. And I still, to this day, even running this full time, there's still so many roadblocks I hit. And it's not entrepreneurship's not easy. And I know you guys know that. But it's not meant to be just this dream easy career. But it's so fulfilling. So yeah, that's kind of a ramble, and I feel like I really could go on and on about that one. But I think the biggest piece of advice is just to think selfishly for yourself, and really just to know, just understanding that a lot of this is a fight with yourself. And if you can keep fighting and keep pushing through your career, like, you're going to see success.
Yeah. And one thing is, as you're talking through all this, I can tell just in your voice how passionate you are about it. Another possible roadblock, mental thing that you probably need to overcome where I don't, is that you're 21 and you started a business when you're 18. And so, like, I think that there's a whole group of people out here. I mean, whenever I started doing wedding video, I was 30. So, people probably looked at me a little bit differently than they do you, just because I was 10 years older than you were when I got started. And so not only do you have this kind of mental, thing that you need to get over, right? Where you tell yourself, I can do this. I know I went to school to be, this profession or that profession, but I'm going to pivot and do that. But also you're 20 and you're running a business. So how has that part of, what have you learned from just being young and running a business? Like, have you had much pushback, maybe from more like clients or clients' parents or something like that, because you are so much younger than, other people? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And no, that is a great point, because those are valid things that I face in my business. When I started this at 18 years old, you're being taken a lot less seriously, I felt like.
Sure.
Because, I'm learning, everyone knows I'm new. And then it's like, okay, well, I've been in the industry, for about 2.5 years now, but that's still only 2.5 years. How do I show those who are, going for bookings with me that have been doing this for 10 plus years, who have been doing this for a long time? And I think the biggest thing, again, is just understanding that. And it's not about acting like I've been in the industry for 10 years. It's not about, I'm going to come in here and be the big shot and really just try to, all these different things. It's really understanding that I am 21 years old. I've had this business for this long. What advantage can I take to basically like eliminate those thoughts? And so for me, that was, okay, I am going to learn how to write timelines. I'm going to go through this class where I learn how to write timelines. I'm going to go to workshops. And I think that was the biggest thing, is I knew if I'm going to do this, we're going to do this. So going to workshops, investing in mentorships, online courses, literally educating myself in whatever way that I could. Because I think a lot of it is, I like to use this example. There could be someone in the industry who's been here for 10 years, but maybe they only shoot 5 weddings a year. Maybe that's all they've done. But then you could have an entrepreneur who's been in the industry for 4 years, who shoots 20 weddings a year, who, educates themselves a ton, who's doing everything that they can. And we almost look at that time frame as, if they've been doing it for 10 years, they must know way more than the entrepreneur who's been doing this for 3. But little do they know that 3-year-old entrepreneur has been educating themselves like crazy, has so much to offer. And so that's kind of the mindset that I took, and really educating myself to where when I got on those consultations with clients and they ask those questions of, how long have you been doing this for? And I get it a lot. I have a lot of people who I share my story with, and I'm upfront and I'm transparent. I'm not trying to be someone who's saying, yeah, I've, been in the industry forever. Like, it's really about showing them that I have invested into them. I've invested into my business, my education, learning how to write timelines, so that when I get on those consultations, it's about providing them with this sense of like calmness of, okay, she's only been in the industry for 2.5 years, but this woman knows her stuff. And that's what I go for, is really just, it's all about the education. You could have been in this industry for a year, but, if you're doing what's best for you, if you're educating in yourself, you're listening to podcasts, you're going to workshops, you're investing in mentorships, online courses, look at how much you've learned in that year. And those are the big advantages that I feel like I kind of like take on being this young, is really just providing my couples like that sense of ease of, I may only have been here for this long, but this is the amount of education that I've taken on. This is the confidence that I have. Having confidence is the big piece. I don't want to go into that sounding like I started in 2019. It's about having the confidence too. So
I wanted to throw it out there too. And I heard this, I think, from my pastor maybe 10, 12 years ago, because I was a young entrepreneurial person too. And he said, it's not about time, it's about timing. And what he was basically saying is it's like not about how old you are, it's about when you get these principles. Some people are way older than you and won't understand these principles. They might not understand the principle of being a generous person until they're 50 or never. And this person's 14 and they get it. And it's like, doesn't matter, an age is literally just a number, but the mindset when you're actually getting it, like what you're saying. And I think that's what I'm saying earlier is like certain people just rise to the top because you can see their mindset. I remember when you reached out to us a year ago maybe and said, hey, I'm really wanting to invest into my business. I'm really wanting to, you make these connections with people because you have invested. I think you did 2 or 3 mentor sessions with us, just asking questions, and you had a detailed list. I was so impressed. Just like a lot of our mentor sessions, they're like, oh, I don't know what should I ask or whatever. And you were like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? And you would like check these boxes and you'd be ready to go. And you could just tell, like, sometimes when people's schedules are too loose, they don't like really take advantage of every second of the day. But whenever someone like you kind of fills their schedule a little bit more, like my week this week has been pretty insane. Lots of things on my schedule, not being busy, but being full with intentional things. And it's like when I'm doing a thing, I'm very intentional. I'm not wasting my time. I went to the gym today. I got there. I was like, I have 55 minutes from now until I'm leaving. I got to get this done. I got to do it. And I'm more intentional. And all that wraps up into, your business being more successful. And I love that analogy that you've probably shot more weddings than somebody that's been in the industry 5, 6, 7 years. And you found a way to spin it when you're selling to your couples of why this is a roadblock that you see, but I'm going to knock that roadblock down and show you why this is actually a benefit to you. I'm going to use that to sell to you. And so my last question before we go into break is basically, we mentioned it, but education, what role has that played? What kinds of things have you literally done for education for you to get yourself to go from charging $400 to $5,000 in the first 2.5 years of your business?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, like I said, when I first started, I charged $400 for my first wedding. Really just between that, just going to style shoots. Kind of like my educational path. The first thing that I did was go to style shoots. It was getting myself to social media, networking with others, finding photographers. I knew that was a huge advantage point. It was, okay, I need to find photographers, and I know that there are shoots around that are not real. I need to go get those shoots and market them. So style shoots was like my first piece of like free education where I just kind of got familiar. YouTube was also a huge piece. Your podcast alone was huge. I found that just through networking, and I listened to that literally day in and day out. YouTube, style shoots, and then I kind of got to that point where I said, and this kind of follows into the mentorships when I did with you, was I'm going to wait until I hit that roadblock. I'm going to wait until I feel like I've got this entire list of questions, because the reality is if I do a mentorship right this second, I'm probably going to ask you questions that I could have discovered myself, that I could have found on YouTube. So I'm going to wait until I get to this point where I'm like, nope, I'm stuck. I need help. And that's when I started investing in mentorships. And then I went to a workshop. I knew the importance of networking was so huge. So I wanted to try to get in with as many photographers, as many wedding planners as I could. And a lot of that was social media engagement, reaching out to them and asking about styled shoots. So then as I had these mentorships come up, I'm asking the questions that I needed answers to so that I could then go to those styled shoots and practice what I had learned and try the new techniques and see how it was turning out. And then I went through David Reynosa, Forestry Films, his Craft 5K wedding course. And that was huge for me to actually have a huge course all lined out that I could walk through. But the education part, investing in myself was huge. And it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, when we first start, we're really scared to invest in ourselves because we don't know if this career is going to be something that is going to be in the end. And so it's really scary. And I feel like that's what I really just try to help a lot of other young entrepreneurs is you need to invest in yourself. Because without that education, I would have grown a lot slower and I would have hit a lot more roadblocks. And so being able to invest in myself then, invest in that hour mentorship, go to a styled shoot and network with other vendors, purchasing an online course. That is the sole reason as to why I've grown. Was because I took that time and energy and I took the finances to invest in myself. And by all means, I didn't have all that money to say, oh, like, let's pour thousands of dollars into education. It wasn't like that. It was me taking that risk and saying, I am going to make this a career. Let's invest in it. I'm going to push myself to where I knew that risk of losing it was so small because I was mentally there and ready. And so making a lot of those pushes in education really helped. Definitely is the reason why I'm here.
That's awesome. You mentioned social media. You do such a good job with your social media. A lot of things have happened in the last couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about your whole social media strategy and what's been going on right after this break.
Hi, it's Michael from Wediter. We want to thank everyone for the incredible support we've received since sponsoring How to Film Weddings. Yes, we've had some growing pains, but we've had far more wins. And we're doing something that's never been done. We're a remote team of over 50 editors in 10 countries. I often joke that we're as much a logistics company as we are a creative company. Right now, demand is off the charts. And we don't just say yes to everyone and scramble to figure it out. That's why we're asking you to help us help more of you. In short, we're looking for more talented Weditors. Part-time or full-time, work from where you want, when you want, as long as you hit deadlines and deliver quality. It's a chance to get paid while growing as an editor. Our project managers work with you, explaining why something feels right or doesn't, because there's always a reason. If you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Go to wediter.com/editor and fill out our form.
All right, we are back from break with Emma Burke from Emma K Films. She is killing it in her third year of business. She is specifically killing it in social media, and that brings us to our question of the day presented by Wediter. Wediter, more than freelance, more than outsourcing. Emma, my question to you is, how do you do social media? I know that's a loaded question, but like, what is your mindset and approach towards it? And like, maybe after that, we can get into some of the practical rubber meets the road things that people can do to stay relevant with their social media.
Yes, I love talking about social media because right now, I mean, look at Instagram and TikTok. It's like they are such big free marketing tools, and I think something that's really big is we get caught up in thinking. I used to get caught up in the whole algorithm and when do I do this and when do I do this and all those. And I love it. It intrigues me. It's always changing. I'm always like researching things, trying new things. But at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway is the algorithm is always going to change. There's always going to be different rules, different things to follow. At the end of the day, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, they all want you on their app more. At the end of the day, like that's the biggest thing, because I think a lot of us, we get stuck in this whole, in all the algorithm and all the rules and all these different things that are changing. We just can't keep up on them. At the end of the day, for example, Instagram just wants you on their app more. The more you're on their app, the more they're going to promote your work. And if you can kind of keep that in mind, that's a lot of how I am. It's just a matter of me spending time on social media. And a really big misconception is, oh, I don't have all this time to spend on social media. It's not really updated. Well, here's the reality. They're literally the hottest marketing tools to date. And I say that because even if I get a ton of word of mouth referrals, a ton of client referrals, vendors referrals, but where are they going to find me? They are instantly going to my Instagram. Let me put a face to the name. If I have a friend who refers me, that client, potential client, they're going to my Instagram to see who is this person. Then it's to my website, which I'm totally not discrediting your website. But right now, Instagram is like this gateway tool, and it's where everyone's going. And so the reality is that you're going to have to spend time on social media. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to post content if you want to utilize, like I said, the hottest marketing tool and to further get those bookings. And so I think it's really just accepting a reality of knowing that, yep, social media is here. It's literally like running the game right now. Take advantage of it. I feel like I didn't really answer your question and I just went off on that. So
I'm okay with it. I was like, man, I'm motivated right now. Yeah, I mean, basically, to continue on what you're saying, it's just basically How are you? It's what you're answering. I mean, how are you doing social media? Like, what is your mindset outside of like you're answering it? So I mean, you were answering the question, I believe.
Okay, there we go. I just had to get back on track. Sorry, I am like a spitfire. I'm pretty calm, but it happens. With Instagram, I focus a lot of my time on Instagram. I have the mentality that instead of pouring the little time that I have into 6 different social media sites, that I'm going to pour a big portion of my time into one. And that being said, that's Instagram for me. So, I connect my Facebook to my Instagram so that everything I post on Instagram runs through Facebook so that I don't have to actually put in the time to run my Facebook, but that it's still running. I take all of the content that I create from my Instagram Reels, and that content is also going on my TikTok. So again, I'm not spending hours and hours on TikTok. I am spending my sole time on Instagram because that has been the biggest marketing piece for me. That is literally where a 90% of my couples are finding me from, even if it is a referral. Again, they're still going to my Instagram and seeing, is this someone that first I go off of in 3 seconds. You're going to click on my profile. You've got a few seconds before you click off or you're uninterested. So what can I do to hook you within 3 seconds? Just enough to get you to scroll, get you to click to my website. And so a lot of what I do is always being engaged, showing my face. It's hard. A lot of us don't want to show our faces on our Instagram stories or on our feed. We might not have content. But again, it's investing in yourself and accepting the reality of, all right, I need to be present on Instagram. What can I do? I'm going to go get some new headshots done. Networking with photographers and being able to go get professional headshots of you and just being engaged. My stories, being on my stories, polls, questions. It's really showing Instagram like I'm investing time in your app. I'm on here longer. Quick responses. That's been a huge thing with my brand is like I'm always going to respond quick. If I'm at a wedding, if I'm not at a wedding, I have no excuse. The reality is we're on our phones a lot during the day. It's sad, but it's true. It's just reality. It's technology changing. So we've got our phones on us all the time. So me being able to, comment, engage with others, be there. And by no means, it's not like I have to spend 8 hours a day on Instagram to rock Instagram, right? And I'm just using Instagram as a reference. You can apply it to TikTok, to Facebook, whatever marketing tool that you use. But it's just knowing that Instagram is going to benefit you the more that you spend on their app, because that's what they're there for. Right now, Instagram is pushing Reels because they're trying to beat out TikTok. I mean, look at TikTok. It has skyrocketed in the last few months. And so Instagram's basically like, if you can come to us, spend more time on us, we're going to help promote you. And that's what I've really done with Reels. Reels are going off right now, and so you just kind of hop on the train. I am so invested in the algorithm that I'm still trying to figure it out. But I still just follow that one principle of spending more time on their app is going to benefit you. That's what they want. And so, I've posted a reel I post a lot of my content at 8 p.m. at night, and that's when I get the most engagement. But then it's I post one random reel at 9 a.m. and I get 17,000 views in 2 hours. But then the next day I post another reel at 9 a.m. Nothing, right? So it's a lot of mental game of the comparison game, imposter syndrome, all of that with social media. But just spending more time on their app will benefit you.
I really think that a lot of people, whenever it comes to their social media accounts and what they need to do there, they see what you're doing, they see what other people are doing, and then they just get, so overwhelmed because now, right, you have your feed, you have stories, you have reels, you have IGTV, if you want longer form videos, you just have all of this stuff. So what have you done? What's kind of your thought process whenever you sit there and you're like, okay, there's all of this stuff that I can do. How do you not get overwhelmed by all of the things that you can do, even though you're spending all of your time really on just one app?
It's really just understanding the reality and knowing that social media is blowing up. Technology is changing. It's just the reality. I need to be present on Instagram. I've seen my marketing skyrocket, and I've seen others' marketing skyrocket from just being present and being on social media. And so just really having that mindset of this is where I need to be. If you don't have time for it, you outsource. And I can't preach that one enough. I outsource a ton because I don't have time anymore. And that's a whole other conversation. But it's really accepting the reality of I need to be present. And so finding those ways, like I encourage everyone to be on Instagram right now. I'm like, Instagram is hot. Instagram wants you to be on their app. They're pushing their reels. I had a reel that recently went completely viral, and it had gained me like 6,000 followers, which was insane, absolutely insane. But the biggest piece behind that is, did those 6,000 followers get me any bookings? No, it didn't. And so I think we get caught up, like we get so scared and overwhelmed because we think this is what I need to be. I need to be this videographer who's got 20,000 followers. And that I think is a lot of what stops us, is we just can't stand. We compare ourselves constantly. We face that imposter syndrome. I want to be like them. But in reality, it's like, it is all that mental game. And so it's just, you need to do what's best for you. And the more that, just the reality is the more that you're active on Instagram, the more you can post photos of yourself, the more that you can create content for yourself and just get that content out there, you're going to see huge benefits because people follow along your work. And don't be, like I said, when you're looking at other people's, because the comparison game is really huge on Instagram, don't get lost in their follower accounts, because I'm literally sitting here telling you today that I've grown 6,000 followers in a month. And that 6,000 followers has not gotten me more bookings. But I'm still present on Instagram, and I'm still showing up, and I'm still, pushing, because then I get those clients who come on there and they see my work and they see me, and those are the ones they're heading over to the website and they're going to book. So I hope that helps.
I love that. Yeah, I love that a lot. And you mentioned your reel that just went nuts. And putting yourself in front of your camera a lot. There's a lot more to unpack. I want to talk about that, but we're going to do it right after this break. Finding the perfect song for your wedding film can be so frustrating. We spend countless hours searching for the perfect song. When it comes to licensing music, Nick and I both love Musicbed. Not only do they have the best music, but their website makes it so easy to find the perfect song and to find it fast. We have both been using the Musicbed's wedding subscription for years and cannot recommend it enough. Not only are they adding new music from incredible musicians like Chapters, The Light, The Heat, and Tony Anderson all the time, they've made it incredibly easy to search their library for mood, genre, instrumentation, and even key. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed and use promo code HTFW for a free month of a Musicbed wedding subscription. howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. All right, we are back from our final break. We're here with Emma K. Films, just slaying it on our podcast today, talking all about social media, what she's done to go from 0 followers to nearly 10,000 at this point on her Instagram account. Does that matter? Doesn't matter? Or does it matter or doesn't it matter? That's hard to say. That's okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some practical things with your Instagram. And you were saying it over the break, and I think it's really interesting. Like, you've added a ton of new followers in the last month, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. And you were really saying that those people aren't nearly as invested in you. Before, this last month you had 3,000 or 4,000 followers, but you had taken the time to be in front of your camera a ton, to be in front of the lens, which is uncomfortable, I'm sure. I remember seeing videos of you and being like, man, like she could do better. And then I watch as it gets better and better and better. And it's like, this is awesome. Like, she's killing it. So what is your strategy? What have you been doing to ensure that you're staying in front of your camera? How does that practically work for you? Because it feels like every time I see you every few days on your feed, it's like a new photo and a new outfit and you look great. And I'm like, when does she have time for all this? How do you do this? Give us those details.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a few things that I wanted to touch about that, actually. The first thing would be personal shots. I invest a lot in headshots. One of the biggest things that I believe is, everybody claims that I make my couples feel comfortable. I make them feel calm. I make them feel natural. Everybody claims that these days. We all do. So what's the biggest difference in your brand? It's you. It's literally you. You are your brand. You are what makes your clients connect with you. And so I take that as I'm going to show who I am all over my feed, because I want people to connect with me and connect with the fact that I love Frank Sinatra. I love all the sappy reality TV shows. I love to travel. Like, these are the hikes I've done. So like, I use that practically to say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go get headshots. I network with a lot of photographers. I just so happen to, two of my best friends are literally photographers. So we go out and shoot a lot and just constantly getting new content of us, whether it be in a studio, whether it be outside, whether it be, me maybe holding a coffee mug with like The Office, things like that, whatever it be that I like. And then using that on my Instagram. Every 9 squares is a photo of me. Because again, it's that mentality of that couple is going to click on your page and you've got literally 3 to 5 seconds. If they're interested, they're going to scroll. If they're not, they are bouncing out. And so that's what I really try to do, is just show myself. And so that's like one of the biggest practical tips I could give, is literally just go out and get headshots of you, and who you are, and, things that make you, whether it be a coffee mug or a photo with your dog or a photo with your spouse, or things like that. Because at the end of the day, those are what your clients are connecting with. And that's what I've seen in a lot of my inquiry forms is, we notice that, some of your posts are about The Bachelorette or how much you love reality TV shows. And we watch The Bachelorette every single Monday night together. Or, things about pets or dogs or connections. Those are what my couples are connecting with. They're not coming saying, I feel like she's going to make me feel comfortable, right? Like, it's me. So that's like my first big practical tip, is literally going out, getting headshots, investing in that and using that all over your Instagram. Because your Instagram shouldn't just be your work. It literally is you too. They say that quote, you are your business, but you're not your business, right? Like, your business, how do I say that right? You are your business, but you're not your business. And so like, use that to your advantage and really like showcase yourself on social media. My next tip I totally love is just get content. My reels that have gone viral, some of them are iPhone videos. And this is one of the biggest advantages that I have seen on wedding days, is getting literal behind the scenes. A lot of photographers, wedding planners, they're not all around at all those moments, or let alone have their iPhone out. We are videographers. I'm a videographer. I naturally want to take video. I know urgency of video at times. And so I will literally write out my entire vendor tag list the day before I go to the wedding, so that way it's ready to go. And I am taking behind the scenes all day. And I used to make the excuse of, oh, well, I just forget. I've just got so much on my plate. Well, then give it to your second shooter. Say, hey, second shooter, I want you to capture like 6 to 7 videos throughout the day. If a special moment happens, boom, camera. I've got mine. We've got the iPhone out. I want to get that content. And that's exactly what happened with the one reel. It's got over 6 million views now. It was an iPhone video. It was a 5-second iPhone video. She started crying. I captured it with my camera. I pulled up my iPhone. I took the iPhone video. And the quickness of just being able to post that content, I literally could, on my drive home, post that reel that evening, right? So that is a huge advantage, because a lot of other vendors, they also don't have the time to post all these behind the scenes. So when you're taking that advantage, posting the behind the scenes, I get a lot of the vendors will share it, reshare it. You're getting your clients excited, but then also using those as reels. You can make a reel of like just one moment. Like I said, this was a 1 moment video of literally 5 seconds of the bride crying over her bouquet. It was like the simplest thing, right? Just because I pulled my iPhone out for 5 seconds. And so, you can make a reel of a simple moment. You can make a reel of the entire behind the scenes of the day. You can make reels of just like the couple portraits, and then just like talk about, like, educate your clientele. Like, there's so many different things you can do. It's literally just getting the content. And I make reels. I literally make reels in my office with my iPhone to post. They don't all have to be these professional video reels, because my work is that. And so being able to show, on your Instagram, just getting the content there, that has been the biggest piece, is just posting. And I don't post once a day. I don't post twice a day. That's way too much, especially videographers. We do not have as much content as photographers have. They've got like a year's worth in a wedding, and we've got like one video. But then take that and grab clips from other weddings. And that's exactly what I do. It's just, I have that mentality of I need to be on Instagram, so I'm going to post whenever I can.
I love it. Nick, anything you want to add? I know you're dealing with some technical stuff over there, so you can't see us at the moment.
I think that's great. And a big major roadblock that I have, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that have the same one, is you said, I'm just uploading an iPhone video. And I'm sure that half of our listening audience just cringed because it's an iPhone video and it's not with my nice cinema camera, or whatever. And I think that there is something to that you lean into this platform and you lean into it. Now, if you have the time to make these things and, use your camera and make it vertical there's nothing wrong with that. But I like to hear that you're like, I'm just grabbing clips and I'm just doing this and this is what I'm doing. And you have totally benefited from that because you're not letting, the technology hinder you. You've said, okay, I know that the quality of this iPhone video isn't as great as, my Sony camera or my Canon camera or whatever, but I'm still going to use it. And then there's the speed factor to it too. Like people are so, like this one that you released and you put it out, with the bride crying about her flowers and stuff, you did that night of the wedding day. And so now not only do you have the hype and the anticipation from the wedding day and everyone that was there, now people are more likely to share it because it was something that happened just now, like really recently. If you're even waiting a week to post that, the people that involved with it would not be as excited about it, waiting a week. I know like the other wedding vendors especially are like, oh, that was last week's wedding. Like, cool, but, so I think that's a big part of your success with doing all this too, is not letting the technology hinder you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's like you're thinking in a way of not only is it benefiting myself with me trying to get more of an audience to my Instagram, but I'm also building that client experience. I just got my clients hyped up because they're seeing content. They know I'm excited about their wedding, whether it's an iPhone video or not, for a reel. And then I've got vendors who are like, wow, this woman is on it. Like, this is so cool. I didn't get these shots before the wedding day. Can you share these with me? I'll tag you. It's this whole, like, I'm not only doing it for me, but it's also benefiting my business in a way of networking and keeping my clients just like, she is stoked about our wedding. Like, she shared a clip the day of. Like, how cool is this? That we get to see it right here, right now. And it's the speed and technology. And it's not your work in a sense of, we're trying to lead clients to our website. Do I have iPhone videos on my website? No. But it's social media. Right. It's Instagram. And so, like, using those to your advantage of just showing up, like, just knowing that I need to be on Instagram and I need to post content, whether it's an iPhone video or not, like, just getting yourself out there.
I love all that. I think I'd love to sit here and talk for another couple hours. We're running out of time, but I want to talk, kind of wrap up with this point. Why don't you talk about the importance of the quality of follower that you've noticed and that you've seen? I know you said in the last month, you maybe tell the story of you said it's got 6 million views, whatever, but tell us the story of when you posted it, when you started noticing, what happened, how many followers, how quick, all that, and then maybe some myths around like, ooh, that's the goal, is to get a big number next to your name.
Absolutely. So when I had first posted this reel, I had 3,500 followers. And then I shared it, and it took about a week it took like about a week to really start pushing. I mean, once it kind of crawled over that like 12,000 views, then it started like going like crazy. And so I think that's a note to know, is like your work it very well could not grow overnight. I think it takes like 3 weeks is like the average like lifespan of a reel of whether or not it's going to go viral. Either way, then I all of a sudden shot up to 9,500 followers. And that was literally within weeks, like within a month. And, most people would be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is so crazy. Like, I'm almost going to hit 10K. Like, I can get verified, like the whole deal, right? But it's kind of funny because in that moment, it almost like was a different turn for me. And it was almost that feeling of, this is how crazy fast technology works, and this isn't an actual representation of my business. Like, that reel worth every view. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. but I grew 6,000 followers that I didn't get bookings from. Now, my whole goal is to get clients to my Instagram, but again, it's that mentality of I would rather have 200 loyal followers than 10,000 followers who just are hopping on and hopping off. Because, in the last week that the reel has it's hit that point at like 6 something. It's hit that point and I've started to go back down. I've started to, creep and crawl back down from those followers who instantly hopped on and hopped off. And so that mentality, we get so lost in the follower count. That's what I did. When I first started, I'm sitting there going, when am I going to reach 1,000 followers? And then it's, when am I going to reach 2,000 followers? When am I going to reach 3, 5, 10? When is that going to end for you? When are you going to be happy? When are you going to be satisfied? When are you going to know that like your growth it's determined with me? And so I think really just having the mentality of, your follower count, like don't get lost. We sit here and we compare ourselves with so many other videographers and so many other entrepreneurs and so many other people on Instagram because of their follower count. That you don't know the business that they're running. There's entrepreneurs I know out there who they've got like 2,000 followers and they're full-time. They literally they book their entire wedding seasons. They're educators. They do all this stuff, but yet we can sit there and almost like put them in this box because we think, well, you've only got 2,000 followers, so you might not be as experienced as I think you are. And so like really having that mindset of it's not about that. And I sit here today to tell you that just as honesty of, don't ignore that follower count. Like, it's cool and all. It's great. I'd love to. But once you get in that mindset where you're just chasing these numbers, then you've lost it. Like, you've lost, like, the true meaning behind it. So I just really encourage everybody out there, as I just said, I've grown, like, 6,000 followers. And does that really mean anything to me? No. It really doesn't. Because did that change any aspect of my business? No. So that's kind of my encouragement is I think, it's that big, we are always chasing. And so stop chasing, just focus on being on your Instagram and getting those loyal followers. Because those loyal followers, those are the ones that want to book you, want to recommend you, want to be there, and stop comparing yourselves to all of these follower counts.
I love that. I love it. Nick, anything you want to add before we ask Emma where people can find her?
No, I just think that that's a really good point about not getting caught up. Yes, there's some benefits to having a bigger number next to your name. We're not trying to downplay that and say that it doesn't matter. I mean, I think that, if someone stumbles upon your page and sees that 10,000 number, it's like, ooh, this person's a big deal, and they will want to hire you more because of that. But at the same time, just because you have a large number doesn't mean that you are getting the bookings that you might want. And we would much rather, as John and I have said before, as Emma just said, we would much rather have a smaller number of people that are devoted to us that want to book us rather than have this huge number and it just kind of be adding to the noise.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
Great points, Emma. So as we're kind of wrapping up here and people want to see this viral video that you've posted and all that kind of stuff, where is it that people can find you?
Yes. So you can find me on my Instagram at Emma, EMMA, the letter K _films. So at EmmaK _films. And my website is in the link in my bio. I'm always trying to get you to Instagram. That's like, I'm using the technology. That's where you can find me. You can also find me on YouTube, but really Instagram's where it's at. So that's where you can find me.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for taking the time to be on. It's been so fun to watch where you're at. I can't imagine where you're going to be at your 5-year anniversary of running your business. It's very motivational to anyone out there. It's not about the time, it's about the timing. When you get these things, get your mindset together, start, and that's the people that continue to run a successful business are the ones that focus on their brand and their mindset and what they think and how they're growing and being relentless and having grit and failing fast and all these things we keep saying. So we hope this has been really motivational for you. And again, Emma, thank you so much for taking the time. We love being around you. Your energy is awesome, and so we're very thankful.
Thank you so much for letting me be on here, and I'm really excited. I hope that if this can even just inspire one entrepreneur out there, we did it. So yeah, thank you both for letting me be on this podcast. It was awesome.
Wow, thank you so much, Emma, for taking the time to be on today. I'm motivated. I learned so many things from you, and like we said in the podcast, it's so much more about timing than it is time. Get your mindset correct. Think about how you can use these platforms. Think about you and your business. I hope this information today was super helpful. If you could, share this with a friend, like, subscribe, all the things, hit bells, do the stuff, whatever. Also head over to our website, Nick. I don't know if you know or not, howtofilmweddings.com. Lots of digital templates over there to help you in your business. Nick, it's always fun hanging out with you. And until next time, we will see ya.
See ya.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films to your couples? Look no further. Our friends over at Webflow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. Webflow is pay per project with no large upfront cost or commitment, and you can cancel anytime. Not only that, Webflow offers a premium viewing experience for your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years hosting and an experience for your clients that will blow them away. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way and give your couples something to rave about. Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/Webflow to check out Webflow today.